Alright guys, welcome back to Days of Darkness and welcome to my review for Halloween 3. This one came out in 1982. It's starring Tom Adkins, Stacey Nelkin, and Dan O'Hurley and was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. Long time no see. Long story short, had to take a break and I'm back now. I hope you've been enjoying your life because I've been enjoying mine. Now then, continuing on with the Halloween series, let's go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way with this one. Yes, this is the one with no Michael Myers whatsoever. The only little bit of him you see is he appears on the television screen at a bar for like maybe 2 seconds as a gag. That's it. And I feel like once people hear through the grapevine that, oh, this is the one that has nothing to do with Michael Myers, I'm just going to skip it. Which, if you want to do that and your goal is to follow the lore of Michael Myers, whatever the fuck that means at this point, go for it. If that's the goal, you can skip it. But if you want a really fun Halloween-themed horror movie that is just cheesy as fuck, gory, and heavily entertaining, I would say check it out. I don't mind this movie at all. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's my... I hear some people say it's their favorite of the franchise, or their second favorite, or whatever. I'm not going to fault them for that. I do think this is a really fun movie. I wouldn't go that far, but I do like it. I think we have a lot of cool stuff here. And I gotta say, props to John Carpenter and the other people that were involved in this decision to kind of put the Michael Myers story to bed. Obviously, they did not stick with that, as we'll see in movie after movie after movie after movie past this point, but in Halloween 2, the guy is literally burnt to a fucking crisp. Dr. Loomis is dead. There's nothing left. What do we do now? Is he just a zombie? Like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Why don't we have some artistic integrity and just go in a different direction? I really admire that. It's not the first time it wouldn't be the last time they tried to go in a different direction with this franchise. Unfortunately, it did not stick, but props. I think the anthology idea has a lot of potential, or had a lot of potential. We could have gotten some really cool, fun, Halloween-themed films directed by, or at least involving in some capacity, John Carpenter. They could have gone in so many different directions, A theme of this one is the cult of Samhain, and they could have incorporated that in different movies, and there's just so many cool stuff they could have done, but we're not here to talk about hypotheticals because that is not the direction they ended up going. I just thought I would say that, it could have been cool, but, people want to see the white mask, which I can't blame them because Michael Myers is fucking awesome, but, makes you wonder. Anyways, I will say, if we're doing an anthology thing here, and the goal is to tell a different Halloween-themed story every year or every couple years or whatever, going from a masked serial killer stalking babysitters on Halloween night, which would then subsequently lead into the second movie where he goes to the hospital and continues to stalk said babysitter. Going from that to a practical joke / mask making company that is actually an ancient cult stealing Stonehenge to make masks to kill kids across the nation is a bit of a jump. it's a little bit, it's a lot to ask of your audience to consider this in the same franchise as Halloween 1 and 2. It's a wacky concept. It is a wacky fucking idea. But, you know, I think the characters, some of the characters, and just the overall vibe of this movie, I think really, really help it along and make what would really be a crazy fucking concept a little easier to swallow. Don't get me wrong, this movie is still fucking wacky as hell, but overall, I think it was executed well enough. You know, I enjoy this movie. I wouldn't. If someone suggests Halloween 3 at a Halloween party, I'm not gonna turn my nose at it. That's for sure. And throughout this crazy fucking film, we see the story of Dr. Dan and Ellie versus the Silver Shamrock Company. Early on, Ellie's dad is, you know, catching on to what Silver Shamrock is up to, and he is very quickly snuffed out because of that. Now she wants answers. And Dr. Dan, as we will see throughout the movie, is horny as fuck all the time, no matter what. And so once this girl basically comes to him saying, hey, I want answers, he takes one look at her and goes, I want answers too. I mean, you know, I'm discrediting the writing a little bit. You know, he does have legit reasons. Obviously, you know, he can tell something really fucked up is going on. But having a smoking hot babe accompanying you on said journey, for him, probably doesn't sour the experience for him at all. And yeah, man, I just gotta talk about that a little more. You know, Tom Atkins is a legend in the horror genre. He's a perfectly great actor, I think. But man, this dude is a fucking horn dog. Every single woman he runs into, for the most part, there are exceptions. Like, funny enough, one of the exceptions is his ex-wife. But, like, pretty much every woman that this guy is around, he is either fucking or he is trying to fuck. It's just ridiculous, man. I guess I don't know what the goal is there. Obviously, you know, it's refreshing to have a protagonist. You know, it's very easy to fall into he's just a good old everyman who just wants to do good by his community and make sure kids don't get their heads fucking melted. It's very easy to just go into the typical hero trope with this kind of character. So I like that they kind of gave him a little edge and tried to make him not so perfect. You know, it's clear he has a little bit of a drinking problem, and, you know, he has a difficult relationship with his family, and yada, yada, yada. And, you know, I feel like they did all right by him, but I don't think the way his character is portrayed is way more funny than I think they intended it to be. Because, like I said, man, he is just trying to, or is in the process of just sticking his dick in everything that moves. It's fucking ridiculous. But speaking of characters, let's talk about Colonel Cochran. Really, really, really like this character. Again, much like the movie he is involved in, very corny, very cheesy. He's this practical joke artist who got into the mask making business and is using that to basically appease this cult that he belongs to, his ancient cult of Samhain. And yeah, he's trying to kill a bunch of kids. You know, it's very James Bondy, Saturday morning cartoon. Those villain tropes aren't exactly alike, but you get what I'm saying. Very Saturday morning cartoon, I'm gonna blow up the earth type of villain. But I think for this movie it fits. And I think Dan O'Hurley does a really good job portraying said character. It is funny. His plan is to it's a plan of such convenience. I'm going to make these masks that I'm just banking on blowing up in popularity. I'm going to sell these masks to children, and I am going to rely on all of these kids to basically sit in front of this TV at this specific time. You know, and it's not like they don't advertise it enough throughout the movie. Jesus Christ. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Fucking throughout the entire movie. And it's intentionally annoying, but shit. Like, every time I watch this movie, that jingle is stuck in my head, at least for the next couple days. Which I guess it works. But yeah, my intention is to make sure all these kids are in front of the TV at this specific time. And then I will play a recording that is basically going to destroy their fucking heads and release bugs and reptiles from somewhere. They're just gonna be really pissed off snakes and critters and stuff, and they're gonna kill their parents, and yeah. Ta-da! It's goofy as fuck, but it's fun. It's also funny that his plan is foiled by a pervert and Dr. Dan and Ellie, who by this point of the movie, you know, for those of you who are new, sorry, we're all spoilers here. This movie was made in 1982. If you haven't seen it by now, sorry. By this point, Ellie is one of his fucking robots. That's right. He, you know, designs these robot soldiers because they are much more obedient than human beings. And again, it's like, where are you getting the resources to do this? I get he is a very rich and wealthy man, but how is, like, the government not investigating this? And how, you know, I know I'm critiquing a very, very corny movie here, but come on. But by this point, he has kidnapped Ellie and converted her into one of the robots. So it's funny how the entire time during the climax of this film, you know, she's just going along with what Dr. Dan is doing. And it's like, wouldn't she at some point try to foil his plan? Because it gets to the point where he fucking kills all of them, man. He kills the robots. He fucking ignites this spell because he plays the recording. It's actually a pretty cool scene because in all the masks, there's these little chips that basically open the portal via laser into the kids' fucking skulls. And he takes all these chips, and when he plays the recording, he just dumps all these chips out, and fucking once that recording plays, all these fucking chips get set off, and they're just taking out robots one by one, and it's a really cool, it's probably my favorite sequence of the whole movie. It's just fucking, it's a rad idea. But yeah, it gets that, there's a weird circle that ignites, and it lasers fucking Colonel Cochran's head, and he turns into this weird statue thing and just fades away. I don't know. You've seen the movie. You know what I'm talking about. Just weird shit. But it's just funny how during that entire time, Ellie does nothing to stop him. It's only once they're driving away does Robot Ellie, do anything to try and foil him. And yeah, it's like, dude, the plan's pretty much done. You know, all he has to do now is make sure these TV stations don't play this fucking broadcast, which is, you know, slowly impending on happening. But she does eventually reveal herself, and she ends up attempting to kill Dr. Dan, and does not pan out for her. He ends up lopping her head off, and even her arm fucking comes back to life and starts trying to strangle him and shit. And it's like, honestly, as far as like horror is concerned, it's probably the scariest part of the whole fucking movie. Like, I will say that this movie, I cannot envision this movie scaring anybody. It's probably that, and then, you know, the kills are pretty fucking brutal. But other than that, I'm not really sure what about this is considered scary. But that's just me. Still a really fun movie. But once he ends up taking out Ellie, the robot, he does end up going to the same, I believe it is a gas station that Ellie's dad went to in the beginning of the movie to also evade Silver Shamrock. He gets on the phone, and yeah, man, the gas station attendant, his kids have the masks on. They're waiting for this giveaway thing that's supposed to be happening. And I don't know why he doesn't just yank those fucking masks off the kids' heads. He just lets them watch this thing, and he's just on the phone with them, just pleading, begging, just take it off the fucking station. Take it off, take it off, take it off. It comes off of 2. They are able to pull it from 2 of the stations. But station 3, for some reason, they just keep it on. And then that leads us to the end of the movie. It's just that sequence, that ding, 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 starts playing. And yeah, that awesome delivery from Tom Atkins, stop it! And then the movie just fucking ends. And you don't know what happens. I don't know if it was intended for there to be a sequel to the movie, like Halloween 2 and Halloween, or Halloween and Halloween 2. I don't know if we were supposed to get answers to this in the original idea for 4. Obviously, once this movie came out, people were pissed off that Michael Myers was not anywhere to be seen. So yeah, they ended up scrapping this anthology idea pretty quick. But, you know, I look back on it, I'm like, I would have liked some sort of answers to this. It's like, you know, did it get pulled? I'm sure if they were to do a sequel, it would not have gotten pulled, and a lot of kids would have fucking died. You know, what are the consequences of that? Where does Dr. Dan go from here? You know, there was some answers, or there were some questions that needed to be answered. Unfortunately, we do not get those answers, and it is left up to interpretation. Very ambiguous ending. I like it, though. You know, I like this movie well enough. I think, you know, it's a risk. And like I've said ad nauseum on this channel, I always admire a risk. I admire when filmmakers go outside the comfort zones and it's not just all about making money and they try to do something different. Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. This one did not pan out very well for them. But yeah, man, that'll do it for the review portion of the video. But you know what we gotta do now, baby? We gotta get into the blood, the guts, and the gory bits. We gotta get to my kill of the film. Stick around. As I've already said in this video, Halloween 3, for better or worse, is mostly known as the Halloween film that just doesn't have Michael Myers in it. And that will turn off a lot of people. But if you like blood and guts, there's some good shit in here for you, man. I will say that. There was some really, really solid, good, gory kills. Also some very lame kills as well. Most notably the robots in the movie, the robot soldiers. Funny enough, one of them played by Dick Warlock, who plays Michael Myers in Halloween 2, so at least he is here in spirit. But, yeah, they just have some unremarkable kills for the robots. Just nothing really that cool. Most notably, the lamest one of the whole movie. And I get it in the context of the film, because they didn't want it to be revealed quite yet what these guys were. Because it's the very beginning of the movie where Ellie's dad is able to pin one of the fucking robots in between 2 cars. And, you know, I'm thinking, like, all right, let's just get a fucking big, just smush, and he just fucking blows up. Buckets of blood. Obviously, they don't have blood, so I get why they had to do what they did, but it is just a very, like, lame, it just kind of bumps into him, and he just dies, I think. I'm not really sure what happens, but he just kind of, like, just shuts down or whatever the fuck. That was really fucking lame. But yeah, other than that, the human deaths in this movie are kind of where it shines. You know, we get a drill to the side of a lady's head at one point. It is a cutaway kill, which kind of sucks, but, you know, it's left up to the human mind to envision what happens to her, and it is not fun. That being said, we do get some good on-screen stuff. Ellie's dad, once he's laid up in the hospital, one of the robots comes in and he sticks his index finger and his thumb into this fucker's eyes to the point where he is able to clasp his fingers around this part and then just fucking yanks it and breaks his I don't even know what you'd call that. It's like it's the part of your skull between your fucking eyeballs, and he just shatters that shit, and it looks fucking disgusting. And it's just like, holy fuck! All right, I guess we're here to fucking play. But yeah, man, really, really good kill there. We get a homeless guy who's all bitter towards Silver Shamrock because he tried to get a job there, tried to, I guess, improve his life. Which props to him. Obviously, we know why he didn't get hired because he is not, a robot. He is a living, breathing human being. So, he even says, he looks up at one of the, because that's another part that I forgot to mention in the review. Silver Shamrock has this entire small town that Ellie and Dr. Dan go to, and this little town is just completely consumed by Silver Shamrock. It is like they have a 6 o'clock curfew, which sucks. They fucking like they have a ironclad clasp on this fucking town. And that includes security cameras that are looking on all the streets, spying on people. And this homeless guy looks at one of I don't even know if he's necessarily homeless. He asked for $1, so I think we're supposed to believe he is. But he just looks at one of the fucking security cameras and he goes, "Colonel Cochran, fuck you," or Silver Shamrock, or whatever he says. He basically gives him the fucking bird. And once he's running through the junkyard, it does not work out too well for him. Because I think, two of the fucking robot soldier guys come out. He's begging, pleading for his life. Drops to his knees, which I'm like, just run. Run away. At least you have some sort of a chance if you run. But no, this guy's so scared that he just falls to his knees. And they rip his fucking head off. Clean off. Like, just effortlessly. And then I'm like, okay, I get we're saving the reveal that they're robots for later on. But if these fuckers are just grabbing people's heads and just popping them off like they're a fucking Barbie doll, can we go ahead and acknowledge that these guys aren't human? Fucking crazy. I will say with that kill, it's very, for a head rip, it is pretty anticlimactic. It could have used a little more visceral, whatever you want to say, but it just seemed a little tame as far as head rips are concerned. Don't get me wrong, you see it. They ripped that fucker's head clean off, but, I'm nitpicking. It is a cool kill. The one that it was right up there as far as kill of the film is concerned. If someone were to tell me, oh, this is my kill of the film, bar none, I wouldn't disagree with you at all. To me, it's just the actual kill of the film. It's just a little more iconic and a little more up there for me, personally. But what I'm talking about, the runner-up, is the lady who is handling the deliveries for for Silver Shamrock, and she's all pissed off. She has to stay at this motel another night, and it's the same hotel that Dr. Dan and Ellie are staying at. And she has one of the masks, and the chip falls out of it. And while Dr. Dan and Ellie are fucking for the millionth time in the other room, she's looking at this fucking coin, and this laser comes out and just fucking obliterates her face, man. Just, it makes her look like the fucking Predator, honestly. Like, her lips just get completely just shorn the opposite way of what they're supposed to go. And yeah, man, she just looks fucking awful. I mean, she's dead, so she's not really gonna have to worry about it. But yeah, man, that fucking coin or chip or whatever the fuck just fucks her up bad. And then yeah, you see bugs start to crawl out of her mouth, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? But that was a really, really good scene, especially, she's still alive for a portion after the, impact, so she's just kind of like, yeah. I totally understand why someone would say that's their kill of the film, but for me, man, I gotta give it to the broadcast test scene, where fucking piece of shit Colonel Cochran takes his employee of the month. He announces to his staff, which are all robots, but he announces to his staff that, hey, this guy has sold the most masks out of anybody. And in the back of his head, he's like, I'm going to fucking kill him. And I'm going to kill his family too. It's like, holy shit. It's just no redeemable qualities for our villain here. But yeah, man, he shuffles these guys in a room. And it's a display, not only just a test, but to show Mr. Dr. Dan here about what's going to happen to all these kids. And subsequently what's going to happen to their families. And yeah, man, this kid is sitting in front of this TV. And the fucking broadcast starts playing once again. You know, it does that awful fucking jingle that I'm not even going to repeat. But then, you know, it has that doot-doot-doot-doot-doot-doot-doot, and it starts flashing. And I love the way it's portrayed. It's like, it doesn't just immediately just go like, ah! He just slowly starts to kind of crumple over. Because you know what's happening, and that laser's just fucking shooting right into his brain. And yeah, man, his parents are just sitting there bickering and shit. And like the mom slowly like sees him hunching over. And then yeah, man, this kid just slumps over and his fucking head just deflates. And you're like, oh my god. It's fucking brutal. And just the fact that it happens to a kid too. I mean, this kid's no older than like 7, 8 years old. That might even be pushing it a little bit. It's like, this is a young fucking kid. And yeah, man, his head just deflates like a shitty fucking balloon. It was, yeah, it's pretty gnarly. And then you just see that big ass fucking snake. I guess his mom dies of shock, I guess. But yeah, man, that big old fucking, it's a rattlesnake. That's what it was. A rattlesnake just pours out of this kid's fucking, this husk that used to be his head. And then, yeah, it just goes up and bites the dad on the ankle, and that was kind of a lame part of it. But it goes to the head melt, man. What a fucking awesome kill. It is easily, as far, you know, I said as far as, like, action sequences, it would be the fucking, where he dumps all the chips out and lasers the fuck out of all the robots and all that. But as far as, like, scenes in the movie, that's the top. And it's also my kill of the film. Well, guys, that will do it for Halloween 3. Long time no see. Thank you for the patience. Just needed a break. That's really all it comes down to. I could sit here and waste time all day telling you the ins and outs, telling you what's been going on in my life. But you guys are here to hear me talk about, you know, titties and gore. And that's what I'm here to do. But yeah, man. Thank you guys, as always, for stopping by, supporting the channel, supporting the dream. And yeah, man, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and for the love of all things gory, keep watching horror. All right, guys, have a good day.